Okay.
Hey everybody, back again for another tutorial here. We're going to take our contact blows that we looked at last time and we're going to take this to another step, and we're going to have fun with groin shots today. My wife is here to help me out. She was more than happy to jump in and hit me in the groin as much as possible. So that's great, and Gordon is our cameraman tonight. So he's going to help us out. Teddy's even joining the fun over there and watching everything happening. Hey, Teddy. So we're going to talk about groin shots here. So these are another contact blow. We're going to be in distance. We're making, we're attacking online. Again, we're going to be making contact to a major muscle group. For this particular move, we're going to be making contact to the hamstring, and actually just between the hamstring and the glute muscles, okay? Kind of, we refer to that as the thigh area, okay? It's right where the thighs meet the butt, okay? Just right in that little spot right there. The hamstring's a nice big muscle that we can punch to, okay? We can also punch to quads, which we'll get to in a little bit as well. Another variation on this particular move, okay? So when you're doing groin shots with punches specifically, you can do kicks. We'll talk about that later. It's going to be easier, obviously, if the attacker is in a lower position. So we can give the idea that somehow, either through a punch to the stomach or something like that, the victim who is about to turn into the attacker has just dropped to their knees, one way or the other, right? And again, depending on the situation, this can be a dramatic situation, or it can be a comedic situation, right? Works with either one. Obviously, groin shots are particularly usually funny, right? But again, we can use these shots with any kind of situation, whether it's a domestic violence situation or something just as serious, okay? But for this first part of the technique, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm going to be in distance, right? We're in distance and we're attacking online. So I want to make sure I'm close, and I'm going to turn my upstage foot out slightly, all right? What that's going to do is open up that muscle a little bit, give him a more of a direct line to the target, okay? Then I'm going to take her fist. She's going to be striking the muscle with this flat part of the fist right here. So with our stomach punches, we were going on to the front of the fist right here. For our groin shots, we're going to be turning it slightly and hitting right on this part, okay? She's going to still keep her wrist nice and straight. When she attacks, though, I'm going to place her hand right to the muscle where we want to go, okay? You kind of have to get up in and underneath there. Don't be awkward with it. Get in there and then find that spot, okay? Once she finds that, she's just going to practice going straight to that same position every time, okay? And you're going to already start to hear the nap happening from making contact with the muscle, okay? Just like our stomach punches, we want to build up to that familiarity, exactly where that spot is, so that we're hitting it every time. Obviously, if we miss that target, you're going to hit things that are going to make your life a little bit more uncomfortable, okay? So we want to make sure that we're being accurate with this every time, all right? So she's going to find that spot again, right? Good. If she starts creeping down, she's creeping down just a little bit, I'm going to ask her to come up a little bit higher. Go ahead and come up a little bit. Good? Yep. Okay, from there, I'm going to step back. And I'm going to walk into space. I'm going to ask her to find that same spot again, just to make sure that she's visually acquired that particular spot. So I step in, space, she goes, boom. When we do this technique, we do like everything else, we make eye contact first. Then she's going to give a prep, and then she's going to send it. Eye contact in, I step into space, she gives a prep, boom, there it is, okay? Let's talk about reaction here for just a second. Now, for guys, we have a very obvious reaction to this. When we get hit in that area, there's a very specific kind of reaction that happens. For guys, most of the time, you kind of feel like you're going to throw up. It's a weird kind of internal reaction, and it's dramatic, to say the least, okay? You feel it deep inside, and you drop immediately, and it's pretty painful, okay? For girls, it's different. Jen, can you talk about kind of the differences with the girls?
Doesn't really hurt.
Well, so I hear that response from a lot of women
Like,
from time to time. Like,
if it's right on the bone, it would hurt.
exactly, and
But
that's the main difference. It's not like guys, obviously, but for women, if you hit bone and you're hitting right at that particular spot, there are nerve endings there that can cause severe amounts of pain. For women in particular, like if you've ever been riding a bike and you slip off the bike and you hit the bar, right? You kind of get an idea of what that might feel like, okay? So, Gordon, if you'll come back around here.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's going to be a reaction, no matter if it's male or female, okay? It's different, but there is a reaction. It does hurt, okay? So, you need to be aware of that, right? Play with it. Play with your reactions. Just like for the stomach punches, when I do my reaction to this, I want to make sure that I'm not reacting face down, okay? Again, keep the head up, collapse that point of pain, and send out some sort of exhale with some sort of sound and react to it. Again, you're going to want to lean more towards comedy, and that's fine to start off with. Groin shots are funny. So go with it, have some fun with it to begin with. Then once you get more familiar with it, more comfortable, you can try some dramatic reactions as well. So, I'm going to step into space. She makes eye contact. She gives me a prep. She sends it. Oh! Right? We can have fun with it that way, okay? And my face was probably a little bit too down for that particular reaction. I should have been up, right? So you kind of see what we're saying here. Another variation on this. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we're going to attack to the hamstrings first. That was the hamstring strike. We're going to also attack to the upper quads, okay? So specifically with this, we're talking about this region right in here, all right? Now, depending on where you're oriented to the audience, typically if I'm like this, your audience down there, she's going to attack to the downstage leg, okay? With that part of the fist. So, whereas we were going to the hamstring area, we were punching with the underhand here. Now we're going to turn it and go back to where we were striking like with our stomach punches that way, okay? So, again, she makes eye contact. Her eye focus then shifts to target, punches to the downstage leg. And it's a pop, just like those stomach punches. You're going to pop that in, get that nice nap happening. Try it again.
That wasn't the right spot, was it?
No, that was perfect.
It was? Okay.
Yep. Yep. And you can go even just a little bit further to the side there. Good. Yep. 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 Good. So, again, this sort of technique can be done as a preemptive thing. It can be done as a defensive tactic, right? It can lend itself to all sorts of choreographic situations. Let's say I knocked her down one way or the other, and I was coming in to attack her, and right before I punch her, she hits me. I make eye contact with her, I step into space, I prep, she goes, oh! Oh! Right? You can kind of play that situation, okay? So, there's all kinds of different ways we can do groin shots. Since it's a contact blow, we want it to be in full view of the audience, right? And we want to make that nice napping sound with that punch, making sure that we're making good solid contact with the muscles. Again, the main thing with this is to communicate with your partner, make sure that you both are comfortable with the situation, making sure that you're going to the same target every time so that you're not wandering into dangerous areas, right? And just build up to it. Just like your stomach punches, build up to the intensity of it. Make sure you get comfortable with it and confident, and then try some performances. With the first video here on contact blows, I asked you to go ahead and post a video of you attempting technique. I would like you to do the same thing with this one, okay? With your partner, whoever you have there to work with, try this out. Make sure to place your partner's hand exactly where you want them to hit you. Make sure you're both getting a chance to do it, and really try to take a video of your best performance, making it look really mean and or funny, right? And let me see how those turn out, okay? As always, when I post this up on the discussion board, if you have any questions or anything, please let me know, all right? Thank you. We'll see you next time.